It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The object of the superior man is truth. To know what you know and what you do not know, that is true knowledge. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. If you think in terms of a year, plant a seed. If in terms of 10 years, plant trees. If in terms of 100 years, teach the people. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation there is sure to be failure. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. It is easy to hate and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. Old age, believe me, is a good and pleasant thing. It is true you are gently shouldered off the stage, but then you are given such a comfortable front stall as spectator. If I am walking with 2 other men, each of them will serve as my teacher. I will pick out the good points of the one and imitate them, and the bad points of the other and correct them in myself. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. Never give a sword to a man who can't dance. He who learns but does not think, is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. The expectations of life depend upon diligence. The mechanic that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools. I hear, I know. I see, I remember. I do, I understand. Never contract friendship with a man that is not better than thyself. To see what is right and not to do it is one of courage, or of principle. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. They must often change. Who would be constant in happiness or wisdom? Study the past, if you would divine the future. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. If you look into your own heart, and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? A gentleman would be ashamed should his deeds not match his words. When you know a thing, to hold that you know it, and when you do not know a thing, to allow that you do not know it, this is knowledge. To practice 5 things under all circumstances constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 are gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. An oppressive government is more to be feared than a tiger. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterward speaks according to his action. You cannot open a book without learning something. We should feel sorrow, but not sink under its oppression. If we don't know life, how can we know death? Heaven means to be one with God. Without feelings of respect, what is there to distinguish men from beasts? Death and life have their determined appointments. Riches and honors depend upon heaven. The superior man thinks always of virtue, the common man thinks of comfort. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are the 3 universally recognized moral qualities of men. The superior man understands what is right, the inferior man understands what will sell. To see the right and not to do it is cowardice. Learning without thought is labor lost, thought without learning is perilous. The superior man is distressed by the limitations of his ability. He is not distressed by the fact that men do not recognize the ability that he has. When we see persons of worth, we should think of equaling them. When we see persons of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves.